So I've talked about this a little bit before. I'm actually going to start off with a couple of my points and then tell you a story, and then I'll try to remember to reiterate my points. So first off, you're allowed to have your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on anything, on everything. You are allowed to have your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on how you think people should be living their lives, on who they should be, what they should be doing. You're allowed to have those thoughts, feelings, and opinions. You are even allowed to tell those thoughts, feelings, and opinions to those people. What I want you to maybe get curious about is what you are trying to accomplish by expressing your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about how someone should be, or what they should be doing, or who they should love, or the choices that they're making, whatever it might be. What are you trying to accomplish by expressing those thoughts, feelings, and opinions to them? Most especially when you're doing so when you're not in relationship with them. Like in a comment on social media, or in a private message when you've never spoken to them before. What are you trying to accomplish? So often, that interaction and exchange comes across as and feels like judgment, shaming, blaming, unsolicited criticism and feedback. What are you trying to accomplish? Then you've got the other side of it, the flip side. Maybe you're the person who's getting the thoughts, feelings, and opinions from someone who you're not in relationship with, or they're coming into your private message or commenting on your public platform with how they think and feel and what their opinion is about how you should be living your life, what you should be doing, who you should be loving, whatever it might be, the choices that you're making. So this part's for you. You don't have to hold those things close to your heart. Those people are not your people. They are flinging criticism from the cheap seats of the arena. They are not walking alongside you day in and day out while you live your life. Of course, people need to change and be learning and growing. And of course, we need people in our lives to hold us accountable to do so. People who love us well with truth and love. Those people, though, are in our lives. They are in relationship with us. They walk alongside us in the darkest of times. They have seen us at our lowest of lows. They have seen us when we have screwed up, and they say hey, that's not like you. What's up? You don't seem like yourself. Because change, growth, healing, accountability only takes place in connection. When you are coming into someone's life with your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about how they should be, what they should be doing, and you don't have a relationship built on trust with them, they don't need to care about that. They sure as heck don't need to be defined by it, because you haven't earned that right. Now, the story, I am told on a decently regular basis how someone doesn't like the language that I use in my writing, and some of my videos, things like that. If you have followed me for any amount of time, you know that I like a good curse word. I love a well-placed and hard-earned fuck. And I will get a message, usually from someone who has never messaged me before, someone who is new to my account, and they will let me know that they are disappointed in my use of the F word. Again, you are allowed to your feelings. Except I'm not the feelings fairy, so I actually can't make you feel anything. You choose disappointment. And what I feel is sad. I know I don't let you, I let that judgment and criticism and feedback that I didn't ask you for, especially if you're not in the arena getting your butt kicked, like Brene says, I let that feedback fall to the ground. I will not let it define me, because then I cannot be all of who I am and live and serve with courage. Most of all, it makes me sad because you choose rules, religion, shame to lead your life. more than that, you allow it to let you tell people how to live their life. It's my platform. It's my writing. And yes, it's public, so I guess it's open to feedback and opinions. Except I didn't ask you for it. And again, change doesn't happen in disconnection. And you know what? I actually know the data and the research behind a really good curse word or a well-placed, kind joke. When our brains hear those things, our thinking patterns are disrupted and we're more open to receiving information that we may have been closed off to. So perhaps when you read one of the fucks that I write about, your brain will open up enough to receive and see the grace and the dripping love of mercy. Because here's the thing. You haven't lived my life, and you sure as hell haven't walked alongside me in it when I have been in the fetal position in pain, begging for my life, when the only thing that helps it is this isn't fucking fair. You haven't been in my private messages or in my office when I'm working with clients when they tell me some of the most horrific things that I have ever heard in my whole life, when the only words that are worthy of being said out loud are, "That's not fucking okay." And if you're going to use this as a Jesus thing, I feel sorry for you that you don't know the Savior who would never look at you when you are in the fetal position in pain, begging for your life, or when you have heard the most horrific thing from someone that you care about. I don't believe that my Savior would look at me and say, "You should really clean up your language, honey." I think he would wail with me. I think he would make sure that I knew he was there and that he knows what it's like to suffer, because he was in that garden begging for his life. And then he was obedient. So, you are allowed to your feelings. You choose them. No one makes you feel them. You choose them. You are allowed to communicate those feelings. What are you hoping to achieve by doing that, especially when you're not in connection with someone? Because all it feels like, for most people, for me, is shame, judgment, criticism, and blame. Things that only create disconnection, things that never create relationship and connection, which is the only thing that creates change, love. And if you are getting shame, blame, criticism, judgment, especially from someone who does not care to take the time or the effort to walk alongside you through your life, you don't have to allow that shit to define you. Don't hold that close to your heart. Go find the people who are in the arena with you. You are worthy of it. And it is those people who will love you well, with truth when you need it to change and be accountable. You want this world to change? Love people better.